He's in Milwaukee. It must be Wembanyama and the immutable scoring and force.
Their stat lines. Giannis has them in age.
The starting lineups brought to you by Royal Caribbean.
They haven't seen Victor in person. They're seeing something.
It's birthday, but Giannis and the Bucks spoil the party. As we're going to get a whistle.
And there was a switch, and Andre Jackson Jr. had to pick him.
They want to be creating an environment for him that doesn't stifle his creativity. Castle getting creative.
Timed it out better than Giannis did. That was an odd bounce, but he timed it very, very well. I guess it's a little easier to time it out when your arms go forever.
Antetokounmpo probing, turns it over to Vassell.
You know, before the game, Mark, where you're just watching, Wembanyama touched the top of the backboard. I've never seen a player do that.
He is a unique breed. One of one. Vassell on the probe. Had it blocked by Brook Lopez. Lillard coming off a good shooting night in Toronto a couple of nights ago where he had 25. Giannis against Harrison Barnes and Wemby.
And that actually happened against Toronto to Giannis in a chase down block. He cut his finger on the rim.
Yeah. Had a couple stitches after the game. Here's Castle back the other way off the bucket by the Bucks. Aim to decide for Castle, drives it on Lillard. Good help defense by Lopez, and that's going to be a double trip.
Setting a step-up screen for Lillard, and he can pick and pop off that.
Lillard off the mark with the three. Here's Wembanyama. That one-legged three ball.
Come on.
He's unique. There's some evidence.
But not just that. Andre Jackson Jr. flew right by, and he's got that shot credibility even from 27 feet.
Always a threat. Lopez put Wembanyama in the air, and Jackson missed the alley-oop. Was clutch. He was excellent, brilliant a couple of nights ago down the stretch against Chicago. Finds Barnes, and that one rims out.
In that game against Chicago, and you're right, down the stretch, he was the only guy scoring for San Antonio.
So in transition, Jay, Castle gets matched up against Giannis, and he draws the foul going to the rim. Let's go back to Wembanyama.
8 blocked shots against the Bulls.
Antetokounmpo.
And don't you think this season he's played with an edge?
To that defensive player of the year level of defense, and he's responded in kind. Here's Castle off the wide action. Paul finds him again, and rebounded by Giannis.
30% from 3, but he doesn't hesitate when he gets a good shot to put it up.
Speaking of which,
well, he's been showing that all season long. His mid-range shooting has percent between 10 and 16 feet. And that's going to be significant, Mark, when we get to the playoffs, because he's going to have to shoot a lot more of those. Defenses are really going to load up on him in the playoffs.
There's Wemby firing from deep off the mark, rebounded by Chris Paul. Barnes one more to Castle. Castle probes. Dame making that transition in the adjustment to playing without the ball a little bit more, with the ball in Giannis's hands. Here's Lopez, got it.
But Brook Lopez has Shushly of late. At 16 points against Toronto, was 4 of 8. Good nicknames on this.
Yeah, they do. It's a good three-point shooters. Wembanyama has that around Giannis. Lillard, one of those guys. Barnes switches onto him. Giannis has the mismatch. They double team it. Dame left open. That one halfway down and
spotting up from about 25 feet.
Here's Vassell. The season coming off of a foot injury.
Vassell needed that one to go. He hasn't been shooting the ball as well as he's capable of lately. He's 3 of his last 23 from 3 before that one.
Leads the break. Castle, punched it home, forced it in. I'm not sure Lopez had in place of Jeremy Sohan. So we see Wembanyama, Jay, able to roam defensively.
That's the difficulty, though, when you go and bring multiple defenders, and there's so many outstanding three-point shooters. And Brook Lopez, in their game against Toronto, hit his 1,000th three of his career. Talk about a guy who's transformed his game completely from when he got to the league to now.
It started in Brooklyn under Kenny Atkinson. Here's CP3 back out to Wembanyama. Nice show and go. Races up on Giannis. Oh! Lopez has scored the last 6 for the Bucks. Taurean Prince knocks down the 3.
mastering everything that he does. Not just on the floor, guys. He said whether it's playing chess or even if you wanted to play him at ping pong, if you beat him at anything, for example, ping pong, he'd go out and buy a ping pong table, and your focus that Victor Wembanyama has about the game of basketball and anything he does, he wants to be the best.
Yeah, great point, George. A voracious appetite for competition. Here's Giannis from outside. Wide right a little bit, and here's Harrison Barnes into the front court. Barnes has meant so much, as George alluded to the Spurs team, one of the younger rosters. Here he is on the roll against Prince. Inside, knocks it home.
Top 10 in the NBA, but both he and Chris Paul, Harrison Barnes, have been great leaders for the San Antonio team. They needed that.
Dame was looking to draw the foul, and
well, it makes it more difficult for Paul, but it also takes time off the clock. That's less time.
Charles Bassey knocks home that shot. 4-point lead for San Antonio. Past the midway point of the first quarter, Giannis cross court to Lopez. Tried to spray it to the corner to Prince. A curious, perhaps, round of applause by these Bucks fans, along with Bobby Portis. Trying to still work him into condition, still on a minutes restriction. Inside for Antetokounmpo, fouled on the alley-oop, and he'll get a couple of free throws.
Yeah, Chris Middleton didn't play.
Foul. Antetokounmpo back at the free throw. Another MVP on. Key part of Greg Buckner's defense. Without Kyrie and Luka, they've dropped five.
Until they handed it to the Lakers.
Bounce back win for them. Bassey out top. Vassell on the drive.
Gotten off to a good start in this game, and defensively he's done a good job.
Chris Middleton in the game.
Maybe gave a little bit too much help on Dame Lillard and left Chris Middleton wide open. And with Chris Middleton's history, you don't want to do that often.
A lethal mid-range and a long-range shooter.
Layup to him. He shoots such a high percentage on corner threes, especially catch and shoot.
Lillard inside, had it knocked away out of bounds.
So much time. Still shooting over 40% from three.
A.J. Green knocking down 12. Talked about the shooting that they put around Antetokounmpo. It has been lethal of late as they knock the game at 22.
Well, Green shoots 45% from three. That's third in the league.
What a great story he is out of go. Here's Giannis leading the break.
And Giannis saw him the whole way.
Found him too, and found with a green light.
He saw him the whole way and just gave it a look away, almost like a quarterback that was not first read. What a great pass.
Jones on the drive. Vassell drives the closeout. Jones one more to a wide open Keldon Johnson, and rebounded by Portis.
And then swing for a wide open three.
They swing it to Portis here at the other end. A season ago, they're up to number 10 in defensive rating. Good rim protection right there. But San Antonio with another opportunity. Johnson back out top to Vassell.
Keldon Johnson looks like a different player this year.
Jay told me that he lost 30 pounds as Vassell was a little light on that shot, but Johnson is down to about 8% body fat after hiring a chef. But it's Giannis that's eating with a slam inside to give the Bucks a 5-point lead.
Doc Rivers today, he said something I thought was really interesting. No presence on defense, things like that. But I think Doc Rivers feels like and Chris Middleton just getting back into the swing of things. But I think they feel really confident that if they are healthy and playing well at the end of the year, that they can really do some damage in the playoffs.
Yeah, we saw the heightened intensity from Giannis and from Dame Lillard. Giannis with the offensive rebound, cleared a little bit of space as Milwaukee down in the middle. They lead it by 7.
Yeah, Wembanyama was right there, but Giannis just discarded him out of the play.
Into the corner, Keldon Johnson driving on Portis. Got to the rim at 2:25, paying dividends. He's got his first bucket.
And because Giannis has to be all the way out there with Wembanyama, there's no rim protection there.
Him remain creative with limited guardrails. Castle on the baseline. And off the miss, here's Middleton. Minutes restriction right around 22, 23 minutes. Giannis going to walk down Champagnie. and say it with his chest.
Switched off on him. He's got to get the ball in the post there. He's been much more decisive to just turn and shoot over.
Champagnie on automatic here early. Knocks down his second three-ball. Green, it'll count. He draws iron as Milwaukee leads by 4.
Some of Brooks were from 3. Again, when you show crowds, if they make shots, it makes it tough. I think they made 6 or 7 threes. That's a little bit what we're trying to do, take away the rim. So a couple of other things, we didn't navigate a switch well. We gave up offensive rebounds. Some of those little things, the threes exacerbated. But
all right, Mitch Johnson, the interim head coach of the San Antonio Spurs. In lieu of Coach Greg Popovich, who's still out. Champagnie knocked three-pointer. That's his third one in as many tries, and the lead is back to down to 3.
And Champagnie so quick from the catch to the release.
But a great story here. Dame left it on the front rim. Spurs out and running. They got a 3-on-2. Keldon Johnson through the contact, whistle, and
Officials basically in replay determined that all was overturned.
Making a seamless adjustment to score on a team that didn't win many games.
They averaged 22 a game in 2023 pre-Wemby.
With a nice hit ahead to Castle. Skips through, missed the layup, but drew the foul for a couple of shots. He's shooting 71%. They don't want him against Middleton.
Castle's hit 34 threes on the year, but he's only shooting 27% from 3 at UConn. But he's got the ball in his hands much more now than he did when he was playing for Dan Hurley.
Well, they might have him on the Kawhi Leonard program here. And we know how that worked out. Dame, minutes of play. And Milwaukee back up by 2.
Well, Kawhi Leonard had the benefit of Chip Engelland, who's now with Oklahoma City, one of the best shooting coaches in the game.
No doubt. Rebound by Bob Bench. Dame usually taking the opportunity to get going. Lopez on the pick and pop.
Transition. Lopez with those step ups and drag. Yama give help on the ball, and then you got to recover out to Lopez, who shoots it so well from so far out.
Champagnie putting it on the deck, working against Middleton. Porter switches on to him. Middleton on the switch has Wembanyama. 15-footer comes off to Lopez. So the Bucks get a stop to number 8 this year.
Yeah, really, it's been some offensive issues for Milwaukee this year. Didn't think that was going to be a problem. But defensively, they performed at a pretty high level.
Lopez from the free throw line. Ray Jones finds Castle. Little float game is good. Point lead. This is the first of 4 games on the road for the San Antonio Spurs. After this game, they'll fly to Los Angeles, which is at the center of a lot of news right now because of the nature cataclysm that's happening right there with the fires. Off the steal, Wembanyama. Good catch by Johnson. Wemby for 3. And Portis with the board.
Boy, how about that steal, though, on the other end by Wembanyama? Came over as a double-teaming big guy and took the ball away.
Gold several days ago, folks. Portis on the drive. Antonio has numbers if they want it. Here's Mamu at an open 3. Defers to Champagnie. And that's one of his. Trent Jr. one more to Lopez. Some chase action. Trent Jr. gets it back. Wemby switches onto him. Portis with the mismatch. Missed it inside after having.
Tried to go at the basket with Wembanyama out on the perimeter.
Oh, Champagnie got peeled clean. Long outlet to Prince. Cross court. Dame gonna run things. Spits it back out to Prince. And he left that 3 on the front rim.
Boy, low threes, and Milwaukee just hasn't found him.
Milwaukee's three-point shooting right now, 7 of 16. Johnson spins on Lopez. Classy move, who forces Doc Rivers to call the timeout.
They open up the floor for Milwaukee.
Really impactful at both ends of the floor. Brook Lopez, a guy that's often overlooked when you stare down the roster. Lillard draws a lot. Wembanyama against Giannis. Shot clock down to 4. Giannis being extremely physical, got a piece of it. Here's Mamu at the end of the shot clock.
different look for Milwaukee out of that last time out with all that ball pressure.
Antetokounmpo couldn't get the lefty layup ball.
And since he was out for those 4 games, part of it with that illness, you know, Giannis has not finished as well around the basket as he had earlier in the season.
It's a great point, James, to think that he's still
Remarkable, really. But that illness took a lot out of him. He's still at a little bit of a deficit, as is Dame Lillard.
Lillard will go to the free throw line with a couple of shots to bring up a good
Shot clock violation and a bad shot at the end of the clock.
Hey, folks, and the Los Angeles Lakers as Dame knocked down that ran through the Milwaukee Bucks roster in the immediate aftermath of their Emirates NBA Cup championship victory. Their 2 stars in particular, Lillard and Giannis, who are just now still getting back to form. Lillard sprays it.
Certainly
Dame
looked like
imploring Doc to challenge it. Halfway through the second quarter. Both teams taking pretty good care of the basketball, just 3 turnovers each. And Antetokounmpo with another rebound. Lopez with a deep 3. And
San Antonio is throwing so many bodies at Giannis. He is wide open for that. A good pass out.
Here's Champagnie. After starting off hot, he's missed his last couple 3 attempts. We haven't seen many of those mid-range jumpers that he's gotten so much better at this year. Lopez in traffic and
So many bodies his way. He had 10 assists in the first half. I think wound up.
Yeah, an 11-point, 12 rebound, 13 assist. Triple-double. And right now, Milwaukee in the middle of an 8-0 sprint. Off the double drag is Chris Paul. Inside to Bassi with a great feed. But he smoked the lane. Got numbers 4 on 3. Green with an easy lane.
AJ Green, he doesn't get many 2s shots or from 3-point range. And when you shoot it like he does, why take a 2? But that one you can't turn down.
11-point lead now for the Bucks. Champagnie around the world against Lillard. Good defense by Dame.
Well, Milwaukee's really turned up the heat the last several possessions. Better ball pressure.
Prince for 3. Against San Antonio. That's going to be the 4th team foul. That's going to go against Chris Paul.
15-point lead did San Antonio against Chicago. And they went scoreless the last 3 minutes. A 10-0 Bulls run. Kobe White had 2 unbelievable plays down the stretch.
Improvement, the precipitous rise in efficiency by Giannis from the mid-range.
It just makes a tremendous weapon even more of a weapon.
Vassell left that short. The loose ball rebound comes out to Bassi. Barnes with another chance. Champagnie drives the closeout. Good resistance. Antetokounmpo in transition finds Dame. Dollar.
Giannis is looking like he's going to lead the league. When he's in transition with the ball, you have to load up the lane. And that means he's going to be able to find a shoot. Obviously, Dame Lillard, one of the best scorers the NBA's ever known, can shoot it. So there's a lot of weapons to really help Giannis in space around him.
16-point lead from Milwaukee. Chris Paul for 3, knocks it down.
Aggressive, looking to score in addition to distribute. That 18 points he had against Chicago were huge.
Lopez missed everything, left it short. We're going to have a loose first 21 games of the season after him into a starting role sometime.
Ankle surgery. The one thing that's been impressive about Middleton, he hasn't shot the ball over the last several games as well as he's capable, but his assists have been way up this year. He's averaging 5 assists a game over 12 games.
Good hands
on ball pressure.
CP3 for 3, got it, laced it. Lopez.
They got the switch.
Lead is back down to 11. Off the flat ball screen, pick and pop action with Lopez, gets it back against Wembanyama. Giannis downhill, got hung on the rim, then got peeled clean by the Spurs. Paul lost the handle, retrieved it against Green. Sprays it out to Vassell for 3. CP3 battling underneath, but Antetokounmpo to Green, good catch. Green over Wemby.
What a shooting stroke AJ Green has.
Castle trying to counter and rebounded by Middleton on the move. Back to Green, pulls nails it. An audacious three by Green.
Right, this is you put something in front of us, we can beat anybody. I guess you put Victor Wembanyama in front of the Bucks in the first half, and they're going to get out to a big lead.
They've really responded. Vassell responds with Jay Green with consecutive threes at the other end, though. He's got 14 to Trent Jr. instead. Now Giannis on the block against HB. Harrison Barnes had no
against Toronto. He had a chase down block against RJ Barrett and hit his right hand in between his ring finger and pinky finger, and it was bleeding the whole rest of the game.
Vassell, rim resistance at its peak. Wow, he canceled that flight.
But he's done everything in this game. Score, assists, blocks at the rim.
Middleton off the screen by Lopez. Playing with his food over Barnes. And it comes off. They'll get another chance. Lopez from deep. Got it!
Down as a stick back.
It does in today's NBA. Castle at the buzzer. And that's the end of the first half of play. Lillard brings it into the front court to start the third quarter. Andre Jackson, the starting two guard with Lillard in the backcourt. Giannis sets the ball screen. Barnes switches on to Lillard. Shot clock already out at midcourt. They got to work quickly. Lopez gets it off in time. Jackson gives them another opportunity.
Boy, what a great play by Andre Jackson Jr.
Giannis with the reverse slam.
Giannis very intelligently waiting for Wembanyama to essentially fly by so he could go to the other side of the basket. Presence around the 10.
Wonderful discernment by the Bucks big man. Here's Wembanyama, throws the lob for Castle. Wonderful find to Barnes.
Quite to this level. He has the ball in his hands a little bit more, but that was Wembanyama as a pick and roll ball handler on that last play.
Wow. Here's Lillard. Step back three over Vassell. It's Pugh. Dame Lillard up to 13 on the night on a very efficient 4 of 8 from the. Gets back to the gym for 2, sometimes 3-a-day shooting sessions with Phil Beckner, his personal trainer. Wembanyama from deep. Lacy.
Giannis Antetokounmpo in the first half. We're going to see some of the pride of Victor Wembanyama in this second.
Oh, Giannis put him
into his chest, and he shot straight back.
Here's Barnes on the wing on the show and go. That deceleration move for the reverse. The double team comes from Vassell. And Giannis left it short. 18-point lead, Barnes. A little bit strong.
Even with a good block out, Wembanyama can knock it away.
Wow, that lob even too high for Wembanyama. But Barnes comes up with the steal. Good hands by Dame, but it deflects right to Vassell. We got a whistle and fast break point. And that's going to be a foul against Lillard, pushing.
That the Spurs' 12 three-pointers has really hurt this team on defense. They need to do a much better job of getting out to those shooters and defending in transition, guys.
CP3 knocking down the long ball. That's the dilemma, though, for a lot of. They spread the floor so well with their shooting.
They not only spread the floor, Spence. I mean, if you've got a non-shooter on the floor, yeah, you don't have to guard that guy. You got to guard just about everybody put on the floor.
And Chris Paul getting much more aggressive, looking to hunt that three ball. He's not
a really important part of the schedule. It's going to be brutal. But, you know, this time last year, the West, I mean, they still have a chance to do that.
We've got a quadruple header on the 25th, and that game on the 25th in Paris. There's aim in the backcourt as well. Giannis partially blocked by Wembanyama. No whistle. Back the other way. They got numbers 5 on 4. Barnes lost his balance, but drew the foul in the process. Still officiates,
of course, yeah. And I think both in college and the NBA, by Giannis there, that's going to be a dunk, and the play's going to be over. Yeah. Once the bloke has such great timing, such great hands, he can wind up turning that into a block, which he just did.
And the Spurs have cut the lead down to 10. Lillard inside. Wembanyama with a block, with a foul first. That'll settle line already with 13 points in a very efficient first half.
When you play with Wembanyama, I think it's incumbent.
His second personal foul. Dame Lillard at the free throw line.
And Wembanyama's behind you. Even when he's not behind you, he's going to get to the rim. You don't want to foul.
Help! Not too much, but just enough.
Not even sure you have to yell with Wembanyama out there.
Castle bullying his way inside. And Giannis with a rebound. Milwaukee with numbers, 5 on 4. Antetokounmpo hits Lopez, the trailer, butter. Assist for Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's trending towards a back-to-back triple-double here. He's got 7 dimes.
Brook Lopez has made 9 threes. And there's still a long way to go in this one.
Boy, Prince just suffocating Wembanyama. Lopez switches onto him. There's the mismatch. Barnes draws the hit.
I mean, they stretch the floor 2 or 3 steps along that
Scrimmage during practices. They'll extend that three-point line to really make sure that the teams get into the habit of shooting extended threes.
Yeah, and to get the spacing even better. But at least that way you're stepping in to the line instead of towing the line.
Giannis in the mid-range. That's a rip. Prince on Chris Paul. Pick and pop with Harrison Barnes. And HB on his HBO, which means help a brother out. He sure did there.
And Chris Paul has always been a lead in ball screen offense.
Straight line drive and one. Antetokounmpo with an opportunity for the three-point play.
Just stretched out that left hand.
Antetokounmpo up to 21 points, right? Becomes so much more accurate. He's concentrating on shooting the ball on the way up the ball.
Well, the basket gets bigger, the more arc you use. But you know, that point about shooting it on the way up, that's where all your power comes from as a shooter. Down or trying to guide it.
Dame knows when to shoot it, drives it this time, finds Giannis in the dunker, and that one ends up with Andre Jackson. Giannis points my bad.
Everybody knew that.
Steen defeats. Harrison Barnes keeping the Spurs in it this quarter with 12 points in the period. Inside, good pass by CP.
Well, that's just a double drag up top. Roll space action. Bassey found himself wide open. Just
into the corner. Lopez pulls the three. Hit the side of the backboard. Single digits. Nice in and out dribble by CP3, who connects on the three. Timeout, Doc Rivers in Milwaukee. And the lead is down to 8 points. Chris Paul, very intense, taking on LeBron and the Los Angeles Lakers. Boy, Miami bouncing back on the second night of a back-to-back winning in San Francisco last night against Golden State. Behind them, some good basketball on this road trip for the Heat. Chris Porter.
Paul especially has been really aggressive offensively. And he was very aggressive. Yeah, he had a bunch of and put up 18 against the Bulls and made a lot of really good decisions.
Jay, Jonesy, it feels like Chris Paul has taken advantage in this third quarter of the deep drop that the Bucks are playing here defensively.
Yeah, I think that's right. But anytime decisions, you know, came off that last one, shot it back to an open shooter at the three-point line.
Boy, Dame gets down the midi. Make it a 10-point game again, a little over 4 minutes to go.
Yeah, the last possession, he went up for that short jumper in the lane.
This time Portis switches on to Paul. He's playing with his food out there, fires. And rebounded team in the game off the screen. Giannis rolls, it goes to the corner. Portis pulls. And Spurs on the move, Champagnie. And here's 13 minutes tonight, has 4 points. He's only taken 3 shots. Lillard, step back three, got it. Dame with 20. And if it's Dame time, it means a timeout. 20 or more. Let's see what the Spurs run out of the timeout. Vassell off the flare. Johnson hands it off to Vassell. Pulls up over Green. And it comes out loose. Portis tapped it to Trent. Fabulous shooting first half. Middleton
Offense by San Antonio. And a good pass ahead, advance pass by A.J. Green.
Quick catch and shoot by Vassell. Rattles home. rounding into shape after getting a slow start to the season because of that foot injury.
He missed all of camp. He was out for, what, 7 or 8 months.
And he's a great story, one of several on that Spurs roster. Jay, historically, they always seem to find those guys. Vassell out of Florida State, but get this one, North Florida, and here he is in the NBA.
He would rather be a Seminole than a Blue Hose.
A Blue Hose. That's Presbyterian College's nickname. I knew that. First bucket of the ball game for Bobby Portis off of Doc's bench. Vassell inside, Green with the steal. Bucks off and running. Middleton with Giannis. Back out to Trent. Middleton relocates. Portis thought about it. Middleton for three. Tipped up, Giannis underneath. Couldn't get the elbow. Doc Rivers trying to play him off the elbow a little bit more this year. Portis had that partially blocked by Bassi, who falls down in front of us. Champagnie pulls a three. About 43% from downtown, but looking for some here to get it back within double digits or lower.
This has tried to force some passes. It's almost like he's trying to rack up assists instead of making the right play. Made so many great plays in the first half.
Vassell with a couple of tries from downtown, and Portis with good hustle to keep it in. Giannis on the drive, got to the rim.
And some of the layups he hasn't been finishing the last 4 or 5 games that are unusual.
And Keldon Johnson finished that. Bobby Portis committing the foul on Johnson. Johnson said it was a total over the summer. Hiring a chef has its benefits, Jay Billis.
I wouldn't know. I'm usually the chef.
You're making dinner, huh? Middleton.
For his lateral movement. It's not necessarily a pain issue.
Great Middleton was in that series against the Indiana Pacers last year. Hit a buzzer beater in Indianapolis, and Chris Paul in the backcourt.
He hasn't felt involved in this. Ever since the first quarter, he hadn't really been involved.
Chris Paul off the stagger. Giannis switches onto him. There's the mismatch. Wembanyama from 19, a little bit strong. Well defended. Working against Trey Jones. Sprays it to the corner. Middleton. And that's the end of 3 periods. Milwaukee leading by 13. Antetokounmpo with 22.
Better get stops. You just got to be more physical.
All right, Doc, good luck. Thank you. All right, guys, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, George. And Milwaukee with possession here off the turnover. Lillard drives it. Middleton in the corner against Barnes. Good look. Portis over Wembanyama. Got it back. Missed twice around the rim defensively.
He forces you to rush it. You know, those were 2 rush in the air after it leaves your hand. Now, sometimes they'll block it out of your hand, but most of the time it's after it leaves your hand.
San Antonio hanging around. Down by 10. Here's Lillard. Working against Jones. Right to the cup and gets the...
You know, one of the things in the second quarter, Jonesy, that I thought made Milwaukee's defense much better was their ball pressure. They really impacted the ball. Team is still hanging around.
Lillard working against Trey Jones. Dame draws the foul. Will go.
All of a sudden, you're putting a great free throw shooter on the line, and I'd rather have him have the opportunity to block it than put Dame Lillard at the...
Significant adjustment he had to make last year, right before the season began. Moving everything his entire life to Milwaukee. Off the steal. They got numbers. Trent Jr. steps back for 3. Knocks it down.
What a great play by Gary Trent Jr. Read that like a free safety, shot the gap. And it used to be you get a turnover, you're taking that thing to the rim. Now you're running to the three-point line.
One of the assistant coaches on the staff.
How about this? When he got traded to Milwaukee from Toronto, he got traded on the exact same day his dad did 23 years. The exact same date. The 2 teams.
15. Order one more. Here's Trent Jr. again. And he's, you know, there are nights where after games he'll go right back to the practice facility, either with Coach Rivers or with his father, Gary Sr. and get up some extra shots.
Well, it's paying off because the last 5 games, Gary Trent Jr. coming into this one was 11 of 24 from 3.
Here's Lopez, has the mismatch against Keldon Johnson. Going to try and take him to the rim. Finds Middleton behind the arc. Here's Johnson. That falls and brings them back to within 15 with a little over 9 minutes to go.
Well, San Antonio can't afford to trade baskets. They got to get stops.
Wembanyama picks up Lillard. Portis on Barnes. Shot clock below 5.
Subtle. You don't want to take a contested 2.
Oh, Lopez, the NBA's active blocks. Champagnie all over Middleton, gets it across.
Boy, Brook Lopez's career has been amazing, really.
Lillard on the kick out. Inside.
Scorer, never made a 3. And he's turned into a 3-point shooting, rim protecting specialist. Really amazing.
Says a lot that he can alchemize the type of change to prolong his career, and Portis fouled at the other free throw shooter. Taurean Prince getting ready to come into the ball game for Milwaukee. CP3 and Castle.
When Doc Rivers was saying, you know, when he was with Brooklyn, never made a 3. He was their leading all-time leading scorer. Too many threes. They'll say, hey, let's get back to Brooklyn Lopez. They call him Brooklyn. Beat Brooklyn Lopez.
That's a key word to Actors Lillard. That's going to be a blocking foul. One of thousands. And a nice jump hook by Brook Lopez.
Brooklyn Lopez.
Brooklyn.
That was Brooklyn Lopez. The Lopez game.
Oh, you might have heard you, Jay. Barnes with the miss. Here's Barnes. Wembanyama thought about it. Shot clock down to 5 for Champagnie. That's the right man for the job. The wrong. Lillard. 7 minutes to go. Dame weaving out to Trent Jr. Got hot hand. Feed the needy tonight. Gary Trent Jr. 3. So that we'll see Giannis there. There's several others. Dame, Wemby.
Yeah, and even a game like not played anywhere near his best, he's still got 10 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 blocks.
To remember, I think, that he just turned 21 several days ago. Lillard way to the basket. Dame up
the playoffs. I really believe that. With the way this team shoots it.
Giannis commits the foul on Keldon Johnson.
Yeah, in transition, San Antonio. Giannis has shown a ton of pride in this game. I mean, clearly he's motivated, having Wembanyama come into this building to say, hey, look, I'm the 2-time MVP. You're the next thing, but I'm the current thing.
Topical thing and shooter is Trent Jr. Now 4 for 4 from downtown. And the 3 ball continues to fall for Milwaukee. Johnson
needed to have his hands up. I mean, he wasn't going to take away the drive, take away the shot.
Little empty corner 2-man action with Lillard and Giannis. Nice dump off to Lopez. Wasn't ready. Couldn't make the catch, and off the turnover. Inside, couldn't get it to fall.
A good job by Tornati right in front of Johnson. What a catch.
Giannis inside, looking for some daylight. Wembanyama foul.
It's kind of hard to say no to Nikola Jokic with the dominant performance he's had, but Shai Gilgeous has been just as good.
The fact that Donovan Mitchell, their leading scorer, did not have a great shooting night. Jared Allen,
new man right now, playing with Spider Mitchell, and then Evan Mobley has double. He's averaging over 18 a game this year.
Jay, I love the fact that the 2 big man system is working pretty well for them in the way that they run their offense. Here's Paul over the wing. Vassell. That rims out to Castle. He couldn't get the handle. 4-4 from deep. So that's the prevailing theme of the night. The proficient 3-point shooting for the Bucks.
I wonder what the horse games look like in practice in Milwaukee. I mean, open shot with his feet side. It's the equivalent of a layup for anybody else.
Certainly is. One of the better hoopers to come out of Iowa recently. Played against the Murray twins, Keegan and Chris in high school.
Harrison Barnes is an Iowa product.
Yes.
Went to high school.
I think they went 53-0 it was. Chris Paul trying to turn the corner. Green, a very good defender, but Milwaukee will jump on the plane and head down to Orlando before coming back home in the next couple of games. Meanwhile, San Antonio will fly to Los Angeles.
Missed a layup.
Out, he's done. He's cooked. On the pick and pop, Johnson drives it on Lopez. Great use of the chef for Christmas next year. If Keldon Johnson's got a chef, I need a chef.
She'll give you a copy of that movie with Jon Favreau in it.
Giannis off the elbow. There's that one-legged step back.
They hit one of those against Toronto. The key in that is getting and then going back. That's unblockable.
Did a little work with Drew Hanlon over the summer on that.
Just another spectacular performance. You know, spectacular. Just 31 points a game. You know, when you only have what 25. Underachieving.
Oh boy. Beauchamp. Green off the curl. And a rare miss for him. Johnson with another rebound for the Spurs. Random looking inside. Collins lost control, and it comes off to Rollins. Hockey will earn its 19th win of the season against 16 losses. Green pulls again. Partially blocked. Johnson fouled by Rollins. And Kel going back to the free throw line for a couple of shots. Hey, Kisco, Michael Eaves on ESPN and the ESN prayers for a hedge of protection around our neighbors in California.
There's such so many friends in that area, just devastating, and so certainly send out all our best. You know, JJ Redick had to move his family out of that area. Was texting save.
Wesley back out to Mamu for three. Here's Beauchamp. Another one of those talented players out of the Seattle area.
Ryan Reynolds with the ball right now. Or Ryan Rollins and Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Rollins from Toledo. He's a good player. He's on a two-way contract, hoping to get guaranteed. But he offers a ton of athleticism and length, and he's a.
The Herd.
I think he's got 23 more games that he's got to get in order to become fully guaranteed. I tend to think that's going to happen.
The way it's trending right now, whistling a foul as Mamu goes to the free throw. Financial incentive, but we saw the best version of the ball. For guys on two ways, that's a big deal.
That's a huge deal for them. And Jonesy, I was so sorry when Sandro Mamukelashvili left Seton Hall. So it took me a long time.
For guys on two ways, that's a big deal.
That's a huge. Sorry when Sandro Mamukelashvili left Seton Hall. So it took me a long time.
3 seconds to go. It's been pretty much all Milwaukee from the opening tip. Mamu and to complete the three-point play. Okay.
There's a 54th pick in 2021, the NBA draft.
Anybody that can speak not just English, but Georgian, Russian, and Italian. Well, take the violation, and that'll pretty much do it. Milwaukee Bucks improved to 19-16, 12-7 at home. And that'll do it. The final score, 121-105. Giannis leading the way with 25 points, 16 rebounds, and 8 assists.